This is Michael Mays. He played table tennis like no one else, and he will forever be remembered for one single, unforgettable match. This is his story. Michael Mays was born in Denmark in 1981. As a kid, he played both football and table tennis at a high level. At first, he enjoyed football more, but the choice of which sport to pursue became clear when, at just 15 years old, he got a call from Dusseldorf. They wanted him to join the club and play as their number 5. It was in Dusseldorf, in a world-class training environment, that raw talent began to transform into brilliance. In 1999, Mays won both the singles and doubles titles at the European Junior Championships. The future looked bright, but the jump from junior to senior level, that's where many players disappear. And for Mays, that step proved difficult. What he didn't know at the time was that he would later be known for one thing above all: a never-give-up mentality. His first real breakthrough came in 2003, when he reached the quarterfinals at the European Championships. There, he faced his longtime rival, Timo Boll. Mays lost, but this was no ordinary defeat. Boll was the world number 1. Mays, ranked 22nd, had fought his way into the top tier. The rivalry between the two had begun back in their junior days. They were born in the same year and had been competing against each other for over a decade. That rivalry would follow them for years to come. Fast forward to 2004. At the European Top 16, Mays fought his way to the final. There he faced reigning world champion Werner Schlager. Mays won 4-1. On paper, he was now the best player in Europe. But was he really? Timo Boll hadn't played the tournament. Still, the message was clear. Mays wasn't just promising anymore. He was a serious contender. But could he deliver on the biggest stage of all? 2005 World Championships in Shanghai. Mays entered the tournament as the 19th seed. A medal that felt out of reach, especially given his draw. After a few routine wins, Mays faced the Olympic silver medalist Wang Hao in the round of 16. Most players would have just hoped to avoid humiliation. Not Mays. He didn't just win. He demolished Wang Hao 4-0. It remains one of the biggest upsets in World Championship history. In the quarterfinals, another young Chinese talent was waiting, Hao Shui. What followed would go down as one of the greatest matches in the history of the sport. Hao Shui won the first 3 sets. Mays looked finished, outplayed. Then came the 4th set. Mays was down 7-10, match points. Game over? Not quite. He started to lob. Hao Shui, nervous, began missing easy shots. Then at 9-10, Mays slipped, but somehow saved the point. From that moment on, he was unstoppable. He won points with lobs, with serves, and with sudden attacks. He didn't just survive, he took over. He flipped the momentum completely. He won 4 straight games, and with that, the match. It was Denmark's first ever medal at a world championship, and what a way to win it. This was the greatest comeback in table tennis history. This was the biggest robbery the sport has ever seen. In the semi-final, Ma Lin was too strong. But either way, Mays had for certain already made history. After the 2005 World Championships, Michael Mays was no longer just a rising star. He was a world-class player, a fighter with magic in his hands. But it wasn't easy after that. There were wins, yes, but also many injuries. His body started to break down, one injury after another. Mays kept fighting. He trained, he rehabbed, he pushed through pain. And then, 4 years later, in 2009, came the moment he would call the greatest achievement of my career. The 2009 European Championships took place in Stuttgart, Germany. Mays wasn't the top favorite. Timo Boll was there. So was Schlager and Samsonov too. And Mays was not 100%. His body was hurting. He was doubtful. But somehow, once the game started, something changed. The magic came back. In the semi-final, he faced his old rival, Timo Boll, the best player in Europe, the favorite to win. A player Mays had lost to many times before, but this time, it was different. Mays came in with aggression, tactics, and total belief. He started extremely strong and went 3-0 up. However, Boll is not famous for giving up easily. He came back, and the match was going to the decider. In the decider, Mays was just the player that wanted it more. He won the set 11-5, and with that the match. A massive upset, a personal victory. And now he was through to the final. In the final, it was Werner Schlager, the 2003 world champion. A legend, smart, experienced, dangerous. But Mays was ready. He had come too far to stop now. His footwork, his creativity, his serving, everything was working. He played fast, he played brave, and he played with joy. Mays beat Schlager 4-1. It wasn't just about the title. It was about everything it took to get there. The injuries, the setbacks, the doubts, and now European champion. Mays would later say, "This was the biggest achievement of my career," and it's easy to see why. Because this time, it wasn't a comeback from 0-3 down. It was a comeback from years of pain, from being forgotten, from being told, "You're done." But he wasn't done. he was just getting started. One last time. After 2009, Mays kept fighting through injuries and he managed to top his form for the 2012 London Olympics. Against all odds, as the 13th seed, he totally destroyed 3rd seed Jun Mizutani 4-0 in the round of 16. The way to a prestigious Olympic medal was now open. But heartbreakingly, he lost 11-9 in the decider against Dmitry Ovcharov in the quarterfinals. Up to this tournament, he hadn't any significant achievements on the World Tour. He had his full focus on being in the best shape for the Olympics. Despite this setback, he was determined to give it one more chance. The last dance in Rio 2016. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to fight all the way. In March 2016, he announced his retirement. At the start of 2018, he announced his comeback, news that thrilled fans around the world who had missed watching him play. He made it clear that his return wasn't about chasing titles. He played purely for the love of the game. He no longer trained as intensely as before. His main goal was to stay healthy, enjoy the sport, and simply be able to compete. He took part in a few events on the World Tour, but often bowed out in the first or second round, losing to players he would have easily defeated 4-0 in his prime. By early 2020, he stepped away from international competition altogether and focused on playing for his club team, Roskilde, in the Danish league. Michael Mays never gave up, not in rallies, not in matches, not in life. And that's why he'll always be a legend.